Hey guys, so today I'll be showing you my HUD settings and briefly explaining what each setting does. A lot of people have asked me to make this video, which I can understand why. All the massive amount of new options in the advanced menu can be quite intimidating and overwhelming, but hopefully this video should help you out as much as possible. Firstly, let's go into the advanced options in the gameplay menu. Just scroll down to the bottom to get access to the advanced menu. The first setting I changed was context-based order giving. I set this to off. What this means, if you're a squad leader, instead of pressing the spot button to give out squad orders, you now need to hold the spot button and select attack or defend to give out a squad order. You're probably wondering though, isn't that making things a little more complicated? Well, the issue is when using the spot button to give out orders, you can accidentally give out unintended orders when trying to spot the enemy. So if you always end up being the squad leader, I would recommend to have this setting to off. Next up is HUD size and high resolution. I've set this to 35%. I play with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, so I found 35% a good starting size for each HUD element. As you can see, all the other options below this setting, I set it to 80%. As for the minimap size, I highly recommend to increase this setting. This will give you better awareness of what's going on around you. You no longer need to use a full screen map to get an idea of what's going on in the map on a large scale. I've set this to 160%, but you can adjust it to suit your style. I feel like 160% is a nice balance between not being over the top big, but it's not too small. Also, make sure to have background visibility to 100%. This will ensure all the elements in the minimap are completely visible at all times. Same with the icon visibility, set it to 100%. I also set icon size to 88%, which changes the icon size on the minimap. I also set minimap default scale to 100 meters, but you can change it to 50, 100 or 150 meters, which in other words means how zoomed in the minimap will be when starting a new match. For infantry, I feel like 100 meters gives you a good coverage of your surroundings, but if you're a sniper player, you might want to set it to 150 meters. And finally, I set icon scale with minimap scale to on, and I set minimap rotation with player to on as well. If you have it turned off, your minimap will have the northbound direction to the top, which I didn't like at all. So as for trying to decrease the HUD clutter when aiming down sight, I've gone for a fairly aggressive setup. I've only left the important HUD elements visible, such as team player icons and enemy icons. A lot of people seem to just decrease the transparency when aiming down sight, but like I said, for me, I want to get rid of it completely. Obviously adjust these settings to suit your playstyle. Firstly, let's talk about the common HUD world icons. I've set the size and scale with distance to 100%, but I set the icon visibility to 75%, so when I'm traveling around the map, I can still clearly see objectives, ammo and med packs and all the good stuff, but they're slightly transparent. But as you can see below this setting, I've set everything else to 0%. All the settings that say in zoom obviously means when you're aiming down sight, and like I said before, I want a minimal HUD when ADSing. So objective visibility in zoom I set to 0%, which means objective icons will disappear when aiming down sight. Interaction visibility in zoom I've set to 0%, so all the interactive icons will disappear when aiming down sight, which is referring to buttons to activate Levolution events and stuff like that. And this is the same with pickup visibility in zoom, and explosive ammo and medpack visibility in zoom I set to 0%. So with this setup, you should notice a fairly high increase in visibility while aiming down sight, which is extremely important. So enemy HUD world icons, I've left all the settings at 100% because obviously you need to see enemy HUD icons all the time. I've seen a few YouTubers set them to 80%, but in my opinion, like I said, it's really important you can clearly see the enemy Doritos and whatnot, but of course set them to whatever you prefer. The final step in cleaning up the HUD, I've made some tweaks to friendly HUD world icons. I've left each setting at 100%, but I've gotten rid of some of the unnecessary icons while aiming down sight. If you scroll down towards the bottom, I've set health bar revive timer visibility in zoom to 0%, which are HUD elements I don't really need while aiming down sight. If I'm going to revive a teammate, obviously I can't do it while ADSing. So I think it's a good option to set it to 0%, but of course when you're not aiming down sight, leave it to 100% like you can see just above. I set icon visibility in zoom to 0%. This option includes name tags, distance between you and your teammates, and some other settings. While aiming down sight, you don't really need either. So basically, to summarize, I thought I'll jump into Operation Locker, which we all know is filled with all sorts of HUD clutter, so it's a good demonstration to show you guys how the HUD tweaks look in game. As you can see, when traveling around the map, all friendly icons and information will be visible, but when you aim down sight to kill your target, just look at all the HUD elements that disappear. It's such a huge improvement and drastically improves your visibility. Also, while aiming down sight, you can still see your teammate icons to easily identify a friendly, and enemy icons and information are completely visible to identify enemy players, and unnecessary icons like interactions, ammo and health pack icons will disappear, as well as any objective icons, which overall should give you massively improved visibility while aiming down sight. If you need any more help with the HUD settings, please leave it in the comment section. You don't have to follow my setup completely, tweak it to suit you, but you can use my settings as a baseline setup. I recommend to go into the test range and experiment with each setting. It's a good place to trial and error each setting. But anyway guys, leave a comment down below if you want more help. Hopefully this guide has helped you set up your HUD settings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.